There we go. Now we're recording. We have to do this for people who missed. So they just won't get the introduction, okay? All right, but this is the important stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so for Zoom guidelines, we have some rules here that we'd like to go over. The first is talking about a Zoom space. And when you guys are Zooming, we know that a lot of you will probably be Zooming from your bedroom or from like a dorm room, but we'd really appreciate it if you guys could like have a professional background or like a wall or something and not do it from your bed, because we want a lot of the participants to follow those rules. And so we need you guys to follow them as well, so you can set a good example. So if you do it from like a desk or a common area or any like professional setting where there isn't anything in the background that makes it seem really laid back. Yes, we'd also like if you guys could try and make sure that the parents or guardian of the GUSR participants are within an earshot while you're on Zoom, so that nothing inappropriate happens. When you're in the main room, we prefer that you guys have your mics on mute. And we prefer that there's no private chatting between participants, and only to private chat us leaders if you have like a question or if something comes up. And yeah, we'd like your videos on, and try and use like the functions on Zoom for like raising your hand or send a message to one of us coordinators if you have a question or want to talk or something. And obviously, no drugs or alcohol should be in the videos or anything that is unprofessional again. So yeah.
And I just realized we didn't actually tell you guys how this is gonna look. So I'll give you guys a brief overview really quick. So basically what we're gonna do this semester, just this semester, we don't really know for sure what we're gonna do in the spring semester. But what we've decided to do is all get together as a group at 6:15 on Thursdays. Half of the volunteers will come, so half of you guys will be there. And then the other half will be the following week, whereas all the participants will come every week. But it's just to make sure that we don't have too many people on a Zoom that we can't handle, or it's just a little too chaotic to have everyone in the same Zoom at the same time. So we're breaking you guys up into then Group A and Group B, and we have that assignment later on. You guys can take a screenshot of. But so then from there, we'll all come together at the beginning, and we can try and do announcements that way. And then the main chunk of practice is going to be, you guys will be split up into pods. So there'll probably be like 2 or 3 volunteers with about 3 or 4 participants in each pod. It's a breakout room technically on Zoom, but we're calling them our pods. And there'll be a coordinator hopping through, or well, there should be a coordinator in each pod, just to make sure boundaries are being held. And we don't know for sure how long it's going to go. We're kind of going to see. It won't be 2 hours long. That would be kind of cruel to all of you who are doing Zoom all the time. But that's going to be our general setup, except for there are going to be 2 exceptions. A Monster Bash is going to be open for everyone, and even prospective volunteers, because since we didn't recruit this year. And then the last practice we're all going to do together. So that's just kind of like a brief overview, and that's why we're talking about Zoom guidelines, because we're also going to hand these out to the participants too. We're going to go over this so that you guys know and can like keep yourselves in check with this, but also then to keep other people in check, because you know there's only 7 of us coordinators, and there's going to be a lot more of you guys. So just like making sure that boundaries are maintained. So that's an overview, and then we're going to get a little bit more into boundaries.
Okay, so this is like a little bit of the not fun, like logistical and reporting stuff. But first on the boundaries, so obviously it's going to be a little bit different with Zoom. We don't want you to be alone, like one-on-one, one volunteer and one participant in a breakout room. So if that happens for some reason, which it shouldn't with the breakout rooms and like assigning wise, please let us know immediately, like call me, text me, just because that's not really allowed right now. We also want to make sure you guys are aware, if you don't want to give out your personal information, like phone number, Facebook, then you don't have to. You can say no, but say no, like be direct. And if they keep asking, then you can come to us and we can help have a conversation. Again, if you want to take pictures on Zoom, let's just ask before we do that. The participants get to decide if they want pictures taken of them. And then again, if you're confused about anything, please come and talk to one of us, or call or text me during the practice. And then we should also have Garrett from the ARC there, so he should be like bouncing around the breakout room. So if there's an issue, we can also get him involved. And then again, us as coordinators are all mandatory reporters, so we will report any signs of abuse or anything on this. There's like a long, extensive list of what we have to report. And then technically you guys are permissive reporters, but we want you to report. And reporting in this sense is just coming to us, and then we will consult with like our CCE advisor and then make the report. But again, reporting might look a little different this semester because like of Zoom, you can see what's going on in the backgrounds of the participants' houses. So we need to like be aware of that. And if you think something weird or strange is going on, again, please let us know, and then we can decide whether we want to report that or not. Again, this is what we're reporting on: abuse or neglect of an adult who has a developmental disability. And this can include physical, sexual, mental abuse, abandonment, self-neglect, financial or personal exploitation, and improper use of restraint. And again, you don't probably need to take a picture of this number, like we will help you because we want you to come to us, but just letting you know, we are also mandatory reporters for Title IX as coordinators. So even if you as volunteers come to us, we have to report that, and then we're reporting that for participants as well. And then lastly, on like kind of like the logistical side of things, these are a list of the student volunteer expectations. You all should have received a DocuSign where you signed that you would adhere to these ones. So I'm not going to go over them point by point, but we do expect you to attend and engage in programming because you did sign up. So keep your video on, engage with participants, be active. In reality, you're probably only going to be Zooming with them like an hour or so every other week. So we really want you to be present with the participants.
Awesome. So I'm going to take it from here. I just wanted to, you guys have probably all heard this before, but GUSR is people-centric, and we put people first, we put abilities and relationships first. So this means that, you know, each of us, in these pods in this semester, as best as we can, we're going to try and create equitable friendships. Not even just between participants and volunteers, but even between volunteers and volunteers. So we're definitely going to try and keep that in mind. I want you guys to keep that in mind. And also, you know, social comfortability, especially over Zoom, is going to vary a lot. And I think we need to remember to take a step back and, you know, remember what space we're in, and focus on, okay, like, if someone needs help asking questions, and like definitely a reminder to just not assume anything in any situations. Always ask questions, always. And if you are uncomfortable asking a certain question, just maybe start with yourself and be like, okay, I have trouble with this. What are you having trouble with? Certain things like that. So starting with yourself and then leading that into a further conversation. In regards to asking questions further, again, you don't ask anyone specifically about their disability. That's not being people first. We're going to try and focus on, you know, asking more questions related to building relationships. But that means, though, like if somebody does start to open up about a certain aspect of their life, then roll with it, that's a way to get to know people too. It shouldn't be something we should shy away from, but it's definitely not something we should immediately go to. So, but then again, that comes back to reporting. If you hear of anything that's seems like off to you and what they're telling you, then definitely come to one of us for that. And then coming to people first, language, my favorite topic, literally my favorite. I love to talk about baby talk because I am still so susceptible to this. And, I think everyone knows what it is, but if you don't, it's, when you talk to an adult in a way that you would talk to a child. And it just kind of takes a certain level of respect out of a relationship. But it's hard, I know, for people, especially, college students, to get comfortable in these situations and know how to communicate in an effective way. And that's, a lifelong process. But I think I just wanted to bring up that we should all be aware of that especially over Zoom. I feel like honestly Zoom makes me more comfortable talking to others. So I don't know, kind of explore that. And if you guys are having trouble with any of this, please feel free to come to one of us and ask for pointers on, I'm really struggling to break through this barrier of a friendship with my partner, my pod mates or whatever. Please come to one of us or talk to each other. And then again, we also, because our participants are all older than us, so we have to remember that in regards to baby talk, it kind of makes it even worse because they're older. So not worse, but you know what I mean. So yeah, just keeping that in mind. And then again, we discuss abilities, not disabilities. This doesn't mean that disabilities are taboo. It should be celebrated as what makes us unique, kind of like what I was saying earlier.
Okay, so just some realities we want to mention is that over Zoom and stuff, getting to know one another and getting to know the participants in your pod or just in general is going to be a lot of effort on your part, and you're going to have to become self-advocates, and you're probably going to have to start a lot of awkward conversations in your pods and stuff. And so we just want you guys to know and understand that and try and do your best with that, because there's only so much we can do from our end to put you guys in positions to be able to build those relationships. And this year with the pandemic, we wanted to preface that we can't really guarantee anything to you or to the participants, which means we can't promise anything regarding this semester, obviously. So if you're in a situation, don't make any promises about what we can or can't do. Just let them know that you'll talk to us and we'll see what we can do to the best of our ability.
That's a really important one. We can't promise anything. Just remember that. Okay. And then I know I kind of brought this up at the very beginning, but I want to bring it back to it because I think it's super important. None of you have to answer this right now, but I want it to be something you think about. Why do you want to serve or be a part of GUSR? Obviously, it's a great community. We all have a blast. That's, I think, why all of us come back. But also, there's a deeper purpose to GUSR. So I guess in a way we're asking, how do you want to be advocates for our community that we're all a part of? And we have to remember too, in regards to disability history and disability rights, that happened 50 years ago, the beginning of disability rights. And that is in the lifetime of some of our participants. So keeping in mind that our participants have lived through some of these, a lot of oppression, and then getting to this point, they've seen change take place. So really, I think on the surface, GUSR is very fun, but there's, I think, a really rich history that eventually we'll get into in pre-practice, and we really want everyone to become a little bit more aware of that. But yeah, just remembering your why, maybe just asking yourself before coming to GUSR. It doesn't even have to be a super long reflection, but just ask yourself, why am I doing this? in a positive way, not like a, oh, why am I doing this and then leaving. So please stay. Awesome.
And then this is the screen you probably want to take a picture of or screenshot of. The group on the left is Group A, and they'll be coming on October 1st, the 15th, and November 5th. And then Group B is October 8th, October 22nd, and November 12th. And then October 29th, which is going to be Monster Bash, is going to be open to everyone, as well as the last practice, November 19th, is right before Thanksgiving break, so both groups will end up coming. If you already know that like a day in your group assignment doesn't work, like please email us. Or if you just want to switch days because you see that your friends are in the other group, again, please email us and we will try and make that work. But yeah, just shoot GUSR an email right after this and we can try and reorganize the groups, and then next week before practice, probably like early next week, we'll send out a final email with the final group assignments. But yeah, that's it for that. So I would just take a picture of your day and then again, email us if this doesn't work.
So yeah, and if you take a look, we're only meeting for 3 times each in this semester. So I think that surely be a kind of a, I don't know, a booster to be like, yeah, like please try and come to each one because there's only 3, and then we'll have our special events.
And email if something happens and you can't come like right before, please email the account and let us know so
Yes.
we can like restructure some of the pods so there's no volunteer alone.
Awesome. Now to the fun part. We're gonna do breakout rooms. Yeah. Okay, so Quinn, do you want to take this away?
Yeah, so we have some questions up here. Maybe take a picture of them or just keep them in the back of your mind. About what's your passion, funniest moment / most embarrassing story, which is better, soft serve or hard ice cream. Just some questions to get to know yourself, to get to know other volunteers and other people in GUSR.
And then
Yeah.
And then yeah, so stay for a couple minutes and like talk, reconnect over GUSR, and then you're free to go.
Yeah, you guys are free to go after that. So.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put you all into breakout rooms now.
I'm gonna stop recording. Oh, later.
Are we going?
Yes, say later. And then
yes.
stop or stop recording.
So we're all gonna.
Yeah, get your audio on.